Hey guys, Ray Pahar from Crafty Crafty, and I told you guys last week in a previous video that I was going to make something that related to this item. Originally, I was going to make a new wand, the one that I was assigned to from pottermore.com, but I wasn't really in love with this project, so I decided to do something a little different. For those of you guys that don't know, I was actually sorted into Slytherin, and I figured since the Pottermore website has this really cool feature where you can decide, where it will let you know what house you belong into, I decided to make these really cool sorting hat cupcakes instead of a wand that I really wasn't super in love with, just because it wasn't as good as the Elder wand that I made a while back. I'm really happy that I have both of these wands, but between the two, I'm still really a huge fan of this Elder wand. But enough about this. We're going to make these cool cupcakes that will let you know what house you really belong into. Let's go ahead and get started with today's project. The items that you'll need for today's project include some box cake mix, frosting, a bag of M&Ms, caramel, mixing bowls, a muffin tray, cupcake liners, mixing tools for baking, access to a stove or a hot plate, and access to an oven. To start off this project, you want to go ahead and combine all of the ingredients to create your cake mix. I'm just going to go ahead and follow the instructions on the back of the box and mix together all of the ingredients. Personally, I like using box cake mix just because it's a little easy to put together compared to having to get all the individual ingredients and then putting it together, especially for a project like this. But if you do want to, you can go ahead and make your own cake mix from scratch. I'm just going to be a little lazy today and use this box cake mix. Once your cake mix has been thoroughly mixed together, you're going to go ahead and place them inside your muffin tray. A little trick that I like to use when I'm putting my cake mix into the muffin trays is using an ice cream scoop to scoop it into the muffin trays. This way you're able to get a nice, clean, even distribution of cake mix inside your cupcake trays. Once your cupcake liners have been filled with your cake mix, go ahead and bake this in your oven following the instructions on the back of the box. While we're waiting for the cupcakes to bake, we're going to melt our caramel using a double boiler. It's going to take some time, but you want to do this slowly and carefully just so that you get the caramel to the point where it's kind of like a Play-Doh. To soften it a little bit, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of heavy whipping cream into the mix, and this will help slowly melt down and soften the caramel. Once your caramel has fully softened, you want to go ahead and remove this from heat and let it cool for a few minutes. To make our sorting hats out of caramel, you want to take a wooden surface and sprinkle it with a little bit of powdered sugar. And then add a little bit of powdered sugar to your hands, so when you work with the caramel, it won't stick onto your skin. Using a small spoon, carefully scoop out a little bit of caramel from your pot, roll it around in your powdered sugar, and then you're going to create about a 1-inch round. To create your sorting hat, you're going to take your 1-inch round of caramel and you're going to carefully shape it into your sorting hat. Bundle a bunch of it at the top to create the top part of your hat, and then carefully pinch the sides so that you have the base of your hat. Once you have the base of your hat put together, you're going to shape the top of it so that it gets a little bit more narrow at the top of your sorting hat. It's going to look a little weird at first, but once you have all of these pieces put together, it's going to look a little better on top of your cupcake. To create the face of the sorting hat, I'm just going to go ahead and take a fork and create some eyes on both sides. And then also use it to create the mouth. You want to go ahead and push in parts of the hat so that it looks like it's been a little bit more worn and folded. And then don't worry too much about the powdered sugar because that's actually going to melt into the caramel. Go ahead and make as many sorting hats as you have cupcakes. For this project, I made 12 hats, and as you guys can tell, I'm not really the best when it comes towards shaping caramel, but I feel like these did the job, so I'm gonna go ahead and set these aside. Next, you want to separate all of your M&Ms into red for Gryffindor, yellow for Hufflepuff, blue for Ravenclaw, and green for Slytherin. At this time, your cupcakes should have had enough time to completely bake and chill for a little bit. You want to take a small spoon and then just scoop out a small part of the center of your cupcake so that you have enough to place your M&Ms on the inside. Go ahead and do this to all of your cupcakes. Next, you're going to carefully place M&Ms on the inside of each cupcake so that they can indicate what house the sorting hat has put them into. You want to place just a few so that you can place them in the hole. And then you're going to add a little bit of your crumbs of your cake, and then you're going to place them right back on top to cover it up. Once your cupcakes have been refilled with the top part of your cupcake, you want to take your frosting and you just want to cover the top of it so that it looks a little neater. At this point, you could either leave your cupcakes as they are, or you could add the little caramel sorting hats that you made earlier to the top of your cupcake so that they are actually sorting hat cupcakes. These cupcakes are pretty fun to give out just because once you open it, you'll see a fun little surprise on the inside. In this case, it'll actually let you know what house you should belong in. For those of you that caught my video a few weeks back, I told you guys I was going to give away a Steven Universe Vinyls mini box, and this is going to go to Jibbing. Make sure you check your YouTube inbox so that you can claim this prize. Other than that, hopefully you guys had fun making this project. If you guys do make this project, make sure you share it with me either on my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I haven't drawn that up on the chalk wall yet, but I'll probably draw that up next week. Thanks for watching Get Crafty Crafty. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and stay crafty.